Hey guys, welcome to Grammar and Writing Lesson 38. Now, this is actually not really PowerPoint. This is me filming my computer screen. So if it looks a little funny, it looks a little grainy, that's why. So this is just until I can film and be able to upload from my computer to the internet. So until then, this is what we're going to do for the PowerPoint. Okay, let's start with our vocabulary. Our first word is ingenuous. Ingenuous. This word is very similar to our second word, which you'll see in just a minute, but it does have one different letter, and it is pronounced differently and has a very different meaning. So ingenuous means candid, sincere, and straightforward. Candid, that means something that isn't planned, it just happens. And sincere means that it is something that happens honestly. So it's not fake in any way. And straightforward, again, it has the idea of not fake, it's just the truth, it's just it is what it is. For example, the candidate's ingenuous replies won her many votes. So ingenuous means that she's being honest about what she's saying, and she doesn't plan what she says, she just says the truth right there. Our next word is ingenious. Ingenious. Do you see that the only difference here between ingenuous and ingenious is the I, okay? Sorry, there's my hairy arm. Okay, that I and the U. So ingenuous, ingenious. That word ingenious sounds very much like genius, right? So it means something along the same lines. It means clever, inventive, or resourceful. For example, the ingenious inventor discovered how to burn fuel more effectively. So that means the very smart inventor. All right, let's practice. Fill in the blank with the correct vocabulary word. The man's blank responses to the prosecutor's questions convinced the jury that he was innocent. What kind of responses would that be? Ingenuous or ingenious? Number 2, the word blank means clever or inventive. Number 3, what a blank solution to a complicated problem. The word blank means straightforward and candid. All right, let's show the answers. The man's ingenuous responses, so his honest, his straightforward responses to the prosecutor's questions convinced the jury that he was innocent. Number 2, the word ingenious means clever or inventive. So that helps you with number 3, what an ingenious solution to a complicated problem. So a very smart way to solve it. And the word ingenuous means straightforward and candid. Okay, so our topic for today's lesson is correcting fragments and run-ons. Now you might be saying, Miss Ashley, we already talked about this. And yes, we did. But this is coming up with our writing lesson, not just with grammar, because this is where you're going to use your knowledge of fragments and run-ons is when you're writing. So this is part of our writing lesson. So this is really just a review for you guys. A fragment, you know, is a group of words that does not express a complete thought. It leaves out the subject, the verb, or both. So, for example, fragment, dropped and shattered into a million pieces. That's a fragment. Another fragment, what dropped and shattered? That's why it's a fragment, because it's missing that part of your sentence. What dropped and shattered? We don't know. Something. But it's not a complete thought. It left out the subject. The next fragment, the chandelier in the palace hall. Well, how is this a fragment? What's it missing? What happened to it? What happened to the chandelier in the palace hall? Where's the action? Where's the verb? How about this one? When the wire broke. Okay, well, what happened when the wire broke? We don't know anything. It's not a complete thought. So a sentence here would be the chandelier in the palace hall dropped and shattered into a million pieces when the wire broke. So I just combined all of my fragments, all of my pieces that were missing stuff into one sentence. So in order to have a sentence, you have to have a complete thought. You need both the subject and the verb. You can't be left with questions about what your sentence is trying to say, or it would be a fragment. A run-on sentence is two or more sentences incorrectly written as one. So sometimes the sentences are simply run together, and other times a comma is used. So sometimes they're just put together, like in this one. The chandelier fell, fortunately no one was injured. There's no punctuation at all in this sentence, but it is a run-on, so they're just smashed together. Then this one is also a run-on. The chandelier fell, fortunately no one was injured. They just join them with a comma. But a simple comma itself, in and of itself, is not enough to join your sentence. This is proper. The chandelier fell, period. Fortunately, no one was injured. So you have to separate your run-on sentences with a period and a capital letter for the next sentence, or with a comma and conjunction, or a semicolon. Okay? So you need to correct each fragment below by adding words needed to make it a complete sentence. Also correct each run-on sentence. If an item is correctly written as a sentence already, just write correct. So this is what you're doing on page 90 of your homework. So we're going to do the first couple together, and then you're going to finish it out. For example, number 1, some insects are beneficial, others can be a nuisance. So is this a fragment, a run-on, or is it correct? It's a run-on, that's right. You have some insects are beneficial, then you have others can be a nuisance. Bear with me while I get my laser out here. Okay. So right here is where our sentences split. You have some insects are beneficial, that's one idea. Others could be a nuisance, that's another idea. So there's a couple ways that you could fix this. You can put a period right here and capitalize others. You can put a comma and a conjunction. For example, some insects are beautiful, comma, but others can be a nuisance. Or you could put a semicolon right here. Oop. So here's an example. Some insects are beneficial, but others can be a nuisance. All right, number 2, butterflies which help pollinate flowers. Is this a fragment, a run-on, or is it okay, it's just a good sentence? It is a fragment, that's right. What is it missing? Is it missing the subject or the predicate, or is it just missing the completion of the thought? It's missing the predicate, right? The verb, because we have our subject, butterflies, which help pollinate flowers. But what about them? What are they doing? You need to add an action, some sort of verb for the butterflies. So this, of course, is up to you. This is what I chose to add. Butterflies, which help pollinate flowers, comma, are beautiful creatures. We need that comma after which help pollinate flowers because this is just something that's kind of said off to the side. So this is not part of the grammatical structure of the sentence, so that's why we need the comma. You'll learn more about that later, so don't worry about it. But just know you need a comma to separate off this phrase. So butterflies, which help pollinate flowers, are beautiful creatures. There's your verb completing the sentence. Okay? So your homework is to complete correcting fragments and run-ons, page 90. Let me know if you need any help with doing any of those corrections. But we've already talked about how to correct those things, so this should be something that's a piece of cake for you guys. Okay? All right, love you very much. That's all that we have for today. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.